Hey all, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're thrilled to have you here and welcome to the AMA Medical Student Outreach Program. We're so excited that you raised your hands to join us as student outreach leaders this year, and we're going to make it a fun and rewarding year for you. So thanks for all of the efforts you're going to put in, and know that this team is there to back you up. You know, this is really a great time to influence and shape the future of medicine, especially coming off of the year that we've all come off of. And I think being in the AMA and being a part of the membership and the policies and the work that's being done, the passionate work that's being done will be really valuable and a really valuable message to share with your with your peers. And I think it's going to be an interesting year for all of us as you get back on campus, whatever that looks like. We'll be by your sides to help however we can. So before we get started, we would love to know who you are and where you're from. So if you have a second and you want to, please throw your name and school into the chat so we can get to know each other a little bit. All right, and Paul, you can go to the next slide. As we get started, before we get started, actually, sorry about that. We'll just walk through the agenda briefly and then get into the fun and meat of tonight's program. We're going to keep it high level, but we really just wanted to take this opportunity tonight to get to know you and for you to get to know us. So we're going to start with some team introductions. And you may have met some of our folks and not some of the other folks, but we want to make sure you know who all is behind you this year. We're going to talk a little bit about today's AMA, what you need to know. There's so much great, as I said earlier, passionate work going on that we think needs to be amplified. So we'll talk a little bit about what that looks like. We'll talk about the MSOP program. You may have an idea of what it is, a pretty good idea, but we'll just run through it to make sure that you have clarity in that space. We'll talk about roles and expectations. You know, what are you going to do as an outreach leader? What kind of time does it involve? How are we going to support you and what's next? And then we'll take a little time for Q&A at the end. So before we jump into the meat of the program, we would love to know why you're here. What made you raise your hand to become an outreach leader? What are you passionate about? And what excites you about this role that you're undertaking? So take a second and throw a word or a short phrase into chat that describes what brought you here tonight. Advocacy. Yeah, I figured that one was going to come up pretty quickly. You're in the right place, just for the record. Anybody, anything else? Community. Definitely, we're all about building community and connecting you to other students and helping you network within the AMA and with physicians. Advocacy, community, mentorship, all of these things are great reasons to be a part of this program, and you can rely on us to make sure that you experience them during the year. All right, Paul, let's keep moving forward. So let's start with the MSOP team. I'll start and say that we are a small, scrappy team that love everything about med students and supporting med students. We've been, for the most part, this team we still call ourselves new. We've been on the job for just about a year, a little over a year. We've learned a ton about what it's like to be at the AMA, what's happening in the field of medicine, what students are looking for and what you all need. And we've been taking those insights and putting them to work within the AMA. So I'll start with myself. I'm Kathleen Hansen. I'm the director of the MSAP program. I come to the job with a background in retail healthcare, working with providers and end user patients. I've also spent time in international business development in the tech sector, and I ran a global brand center for an airline. So a little bit of a mix, but I'm really happy to be back in healthcare. It's kind of where my heart lies, and I just feel like the work we do every day is so critically important. One fun fact about me, I speak, read, and write fluent Japanese. And with that, I'll toss it to Paul.
That's a hard fact to follow. I'm Paul. I am the marketing and program manager for the MSOP team. So anything MSOP related, I'm here to support you. Most importantly, I'm here to support Emily and Meredith, who you'll hear from in a little bit, who are your field student recruitment manager rock stars. Aside from that, I'm responsible for creating all the communication materials, marketing materials, and any resource that you need to be successful this year. So I look forward to working with you. And with that, I'm going to pass it off to Rifa.
Hello, everyone. I think I might have spoken to some of you or chatted with some of you, emailed with some of you through the student ops box. So I am the program administrator for this team. I help handle day-to-day operational tasks, and I'm kind of the Oz behind the curtain, if you will, helping things run smoothly, and just your dedicated point of contact for certain issues and concerns, or if you have any ideas and you want to shoot them my way, and anything like that, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm here to help. And I think we'll move on to Meredith Freeberg.
Hi, everyone. So nice to meet you. I see some familiar faces and names on the call. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Meredith. I'm one of the field student recruitment managers, part of this team. So I work with regions 2, 3, 5, and then in region 1, work with California and Arizona. So super excited that you guys all took the time to join us today. A fun fact about me, I was actually on a game show. So for those of you who are Nickelodeon fans and grew up watching Nickelodeon, I actually participated on a game show and ended up getting slime. So happy to share what that secret ingredient was if you guys ever want to know. I'll toss it over to Emily now.
Thanks, Meredith. So hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Emily Farren, and I am the other half of the field student recruitment manager. So for those that I have not met yet, because I do see a ton of familiar faces on here and names, I work with regions 4, 6, and 7, so basically the whole East Coast, and then everybody in region 1, with the exception of Arizona and California. So really excited to be working with you all this year. And a fun fact about me is for 2 years, I lived in the South Pacific on an island. And when I was there, I learned how to spearfish, climb coconut trees and husk them myself, as well as build ponds from trees into like other types of huts. So if you ever need any tips for Survivor, let me know, I'm your gal. So I'll toss it back over to Kathleen.
All I want to say is I know Emily has experience with a machete as well. I don't want to meet up with her in a dark alley at any point in time. Note to self. So that's our team. Like I said, we're small, but we're mighty. We love having fun, and I think it's going to be a great year. But what I did want to say was you don't have just the 5 of us here to support you or provide resources. You have the entirety of the AMA behind you, and that's 1,000+ folks strong, everyone from our board of trustees, our AMA senior leadership, down to all the people who do all the work to support our physician community. And we're hoping to be a resource for you, not just as outreach leaders, but as students as you move through your medical school journey into residency and into your years as a practicing physician. So we hope that you'll find what we bring to the table to have a lot of value. And with that, we just want to show you a quick video from our Chief Experience Officer, Todd Unger.
Hello, outreach leaders, and welcome to the AMA Medical Student Outreach Program team. My name is Todd Unger, and I'm the Chief Experience Officer at the American Medical Association. And I wanted to take a moment to thank you on behalf of everyone at the AMA for helping us to better tell our story to your peers and to write the next chapter of medicine. We couldn't ask for better representatives for the AMA than our medical students. And when I first started here 3 years ago, I had the opportunity to meet many of our students from all over the country as part of our Membership Moves Medicine campaign. And every single time I walked away inspired by their natural ability to motivate and influence, their energy and their hunger for change. And who knew I'd be interviewing one of them from the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic 3 years later. If you want to shape the future of medicine and be a leader, you're in the right place. As outreach leaders, you're single-handedly strengthening the collective voice of physicians and bringing together the next generation of innovators and advocates. You and your peers are the future of the AMA, and it's our job to help you become the leaders of medicine. If there's anything any one of us can do to support you, let us know. Good luck, and thank you again.
So what do you need to know about today's AMA? You know, the adage goes, it's not your grandparents or your parents. American Medical Association. I know many of you are first generational doctors or doctors in training, but others of you are following the path of your family. So, you know, what is it that you need to know? What's at our core principles? The AMA's mission really kind of summarizes what our organization is all about, and what we've been focused on all along in our 170-year plus history. I'm going to read to you a very impactful and powerful mission statement that goes across all of our procedures, guidelines, and why it is that we come to work every day. The American Medical Association is the physicians, residents, and most importantly, students' powerful ally in patient care, representing physicians with a unified voice, leading the charge to confront public health crises, removing obstacles that interfere with patient care, and above all, driving the future of medicine. So what does that mean? How do we break that down? How do we bring our mission to life in the work that we do every day? Well, we rely on 4 pillars. First, we represent medical students, residents, and physicians with a unified voice. Medical students are active and well represented with the AMA House of Delegates, at the national advocacy level, in the AMA policymaking progress, as well as through congressional testimony and in other key places that bring positive change to the future of medicine. Second, we remove obstacles that interfere with patient care. For example, the AMA helped lead the charge to make medical records electronic. Believe it or not, there was a time where you had to get those mailed to you or faxed to you. Another example is our work for removal of prior authorization practices, which were overused, costly, and directly responsible for patient care delays. Third, we are leading the charge in confronting health crises. So that's preventing diabetes, managing hypertension, and, well, above all, COVID-19, and being the forefront authority for all matters on that subject. In addition, we are having a task force build on opioid crises and managing forward. But last and certainly not least, it's driving the future of medicine. So you are the physicians of tomorrow, and you're in a very unique spot to take leadership, take charge, lead, motivate, and influence that. At its core, the American Medical Association promotes the art and science of medicine and the betterment of public health. We are driving healthcare policy. We are recognizing health inequalities. And above all, we are providing research and education for our members. So what does this all mean? Specifically to medical students, the American Medical Association is your healthcare advocacy partner. Just to name a few, in the past year, with the death of George Floyd, we've identified police brutality as a national health issue. We continue to defend Title X. We advocate for DACA. We protect patients and their access to care. It's a core mission, especially in the time that we live in, to increase racial and ethnic diversity in medicine as much as possible. We look out for our gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender brothers and sisters as it concerns to health equity. We're continuing to address issues of smoking and vaping, immigration, healthcare, gun ownership, gun violence, and working initiatives for appropriate prescription pricing practices and oversight. And with that, I would love to hand it off to my counterpart, Emily Farren.
Hey everyone. All right. So as my team knows, and if you've met with me already, you know I love a good icebreaker and that I am a big fan of all things related to when I was camp counselor. So what we're going to do is everyone turn your cameras on. We can only see the first 4 people, but I still want your cameras on. So CJ, Sarah, Christina, I see some of my peeps out there. Turn your cameras on. We're going to do a little energizer, all right? And that energizer is in the form of a song. I used to work with preschool students, so we're going to kick it back to preschool, and we're going to do a little anatomy practice, okay? Get you ready for step 1, right, where the parts of the body are. So we're going to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. If you don't know it, don't worry. I'm going to sing for you, so then there's no glitches. But when we sing this, I want you to point to those parts of your body. Is everyone ready? Give me a thumbs up. I can only see 3 of you. Fantastic. All right. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Way to go. That was fantastic. All right, just a little energizer. Feel free to go back on mute to get you all really pumped up for talking about what MSOP is, okay? So when we think about it, MSOP is the Medical Student Outreach Program. I've heard people call this many different things. We call it MSOP, okay? Don't stop till you MSOP. That's what I like to say. So we're going to talk about what MSOP is and how you all fit into MSOP. So as our team, and that's the team that you just were introduced to, the team of 5, it's our job to engage with students on the value proposition of organized medicine at the AMA. We also do a lot to support the local state societies as well, because we really believe you should be involved both nationally, statewide, and if you're connected to a county, even better. Get as involved as you can, just like the elections. So what do we do? So MSOP is a peer-to-peer recruitment program with a focus on promoting 4-year AMA memberships to first-year students. So you all are our outreach leaders. You all are our recruitment chairs. Whatever you want to call yourself, you are the person that is on campus leading these recruitment efforts and working with your local chapter and sometimes even that local county medical society or state medical society and leading this charge on campus. As you begin to earn different types of membership from your M1s, you increase the amount of commission dollars that you can get. If you want to know more about commission dollars and what this means, or about other AMA funds, we have a ton of trainings on this that we can easily send to you that are trainings on demand to tell you how to use or how the commission structure works. In addition to the aforementioned, the program also provides training, such as those training videos I just discussed, and resources to all of you. So if you have not already had a one-on-one onboarding session with myself or Meredith, or received the trainings or even the resources, let us know, because we want to make sure you get a hold of those and are able to access those. So what do we expect from you, right? This is a job, you're signing up for something that's really cool. So we really want to help you connect to your fellow students through that peer-to-peer networking. As I tell every group of students that I work with one-on-one, you know your school way better than we know your school. We know what, you know what the passions are, you know what gets them excited, you know why they're joining. Are they joining, yeah, for that free study incentive, or are they joining to go to conferences and shape the future of medicine through advocacy and resolution writing? You all know this, and you can ask us to help you with all these efforts. So we really want you to lead your local student section or your chapter on membership outreach, especially to that M1 class. So we really are going to ask you to host a recruitment event that centers around those M1s. This could be tabling at an organizational fair or at an orientation fair. Again, you know what that looks like at your school, or what maybe the M3s or the M4s did before we went all virtual. In addition, we want you to promote that 4-year membership incentive. That commission structure and that commission is tied to 4-year membership. So we want you to benefit by getting students into a 4-year membership and securing their spot to be a part of organized medicine through their first year of residency. And then we want you to help with, membership and engagement and retention efforts on campus. So after your first event, your AMA 101 info session or your tabling session at an organizational fair, maybe you want a speaker to come to campus, or you'd like us to help you with a resolution writing workshop. Whatever it is that you need, just ask us. We have the resources. Don't recreate the wheel. We want to help you in all these initiatives, and Meredith's actually going to speak about these in a little bit, but all the resources we have just for you. And then your last expectation is to have fun. So I hope that you've already seen that we are a fun team. We love dance parties. We want to get to know you, and we want you to have fun doing this. We want to do all the heavy lifting and the hard work, so you just get to be with people. You just get to socialize with those M1s and build community on campus. But you also get some benefits out of this, right? So how are you going to benefit through all this? So we really want this to be a rewarding experience for you. We understand that a lot of you, the majority that we see become outreach leaders, are M2s. We also know there are a ton of changes hitting you all, not just with how you've experienced your first year of medical school, but also the changes in step 1. So this is something you could put on your CV. We want you to grow in leadership skills. We want you to attend coffee chats and get to know other people at the AMA. We want you to get involved with other departments at the AMA. We want you to be able to put this on your CV and build this up and talk about what you did on campus, but also what you did both nationally or statewide to change the face of medicine. So please utilize this opportunity and let us help you build up those leadership skills. In addition to that, we recognize that networking is super important and even more important after we went virtual. So we want you to be able to network with your peers, right? You're going to make some great friends through this. You're going to meet folks at conferences and they're going to become lifelong friends. That's amazing. But we also have so many people that are influential thought leaders or subject matter experts that we can help connect you to. We also would love to see you at some of our marquee AMA events. So we typically have a meeting in June as well as another meeting in November. Again, with what has happened in the past year, the in-person is still TBD. When we know, we will let you know. And then we even have some stuff specific for students, such as National Advocacy Week. So we want you to participate in those. We want you to attend those because, again, these are all such wonderful growing experiences for you to build out. And then what I get most excited for, I'm very social, so I love building community. Building community on campus and making those everlasting friendships and connections is just such a fun thing to do. And if you've met with myself or you've met with Meredith, you know, we want to give you all those resources so you don't have to focus on the PowerPoints, the email writing, or even making a flyer. Let us do that for you so you can focus on the connections. So I'm going to pass it over to my buddy, Rifa.
Hey, Rifa, before you start, I just want to address the one question in here on the November meeting so we don't lose it in the scope here. It's scheduled to be held in Orlando. Right now, we're still waiting for word on whether or not it's going to be an in-person meeting. I think they're just working through all of the logistics and the safety aspects and things like that. So stay tuned, stay in touch with this team. We should know in the next couple of weeks if it's going to happen virtually or in person.
All right, so the MSOP program for this year. So we have this wonderful map that kind of shows you where our outreach leaders are. You can see that they're spread out across the country. In the AMA's Medical Student Outreach Program, this community of outreach leaders across the country is at about 170 plus strong leaders. And you're all part of a very strong community that's continuously growing, and we're so proud and so excited about this. And we have about 122 plus schools that are participating this year. Yeah, for this academic year so far and growing. across the nation at all medical schools, there are about 30,000 students that are M1s that we're trying to reach to be part of this program, to take part in what the AMA has to offer them in terms of guidance and support. And we're all so excited about this team effort here that's going to be, hopefully reaching out to these 30,000 students and meet this goal.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that, Rifa. So how do we support you guys? So you have all signed up for this volunteer opportunity, applied, Emily talked through the benefits, Rifa talked through where everybody is, but now how do we work together and how do we collaborate? I can tell you there are so many ways for us to do that and work together this year. First and most important, I think this is such a key piece of this, is that each one of you have a dedicated field student recruitment manager. So that would either be Emily or myself, and we're really put here in place to help guide you throughout the way and really provide you with a catch-all of anything you need. That can be materials, event support, ask questions, even just how to take advantage of your membership or how to get involved in advocacy or participate in health equity. We're really here to help you with that and be your go-to gals at the AMA. You can go ahead and see on the screen here how the country is divided. So if you haven't had the opportunity to connect with us yet, schedule a one-on-one with us. I promise, you can tell from our personalities, we love chatting and want to get to know you better and just understand what your initiatives are at your chapter level. We're really always here just to chat, or if you want to send us a note, and we want to make sure that we can help you not only individually, but also take advantage of this outreach leader community and connect you with those folks that have really joined this leadership position that you can go ahead and connect with. I saw a few people in the chat put community down, and I think that's a really great piece to note that as part of this program, that you can really, get that peer-to-peer learning and also share those best practices that are done at other chapters, because there's really no need to recreate that wheel. Emily and I always say this, but we know that you guys are so incredibly busy and have very limited time and just have way too much on your plate. And we would honestly rather have you take an extra 5 minutes to get Starbucks, binge watch your favorite show, or even scroll through Instagram and TikTok. I mean, I know I'm guilty of that, and it's a form of self-care. And we want you guys to take care of yourselves. And if there's stuff that we can take over, whether it's writing an email template or creating a flyer for you, we're happy to do that and really want to make your jobs and your lives easier. And as you can see right now, you have a whole team here at the AMA to support you and make sure that you are successful and this is a valuable experience for you. Okay, so how do we do that, right? What is that tangible way on how we can help you? So we really, again, want to make sure that you're set up for success, and we've developed a number of tools to really make it easy and do a lot of that work so you can take that time to get Starbucks or scroll through Instagram. And one of my favorite resources that we have, and I tell everybody who I talk to that this is honestly your one source of truth, and I would bookmark this page, and that is the Resource Center. So this houses everything you need in order to be successful. This includes email templates, PowerPoint templates, step-by-step guides, all of our request forms that make this as turnkey as possible and really have this be your one-stop shop for all of the resources. So everything that we'll send to you guys is going to be housed on here so you can go ahead and take a look and grab what you need at your own time. Next, we have the Recruitment Dashboard. So this platform is also really special because you'll receive real-time data on how many members your chapter recruits. You'll also get to know what tier you fall in for that commission structure. Again, that's free money, so feel free to check out our trainings or ask Emily and I about that. And you can also access your chapter's current member list, which is really cool. So you can continue that engagement once they are members, and we can talk through strategies and how to do that as well. So this dashboard is a really great website to bookmark as well. In addition to all of our resources, you'll also receive an email every Tuesday and also a monthly newsletter from our student ops inbox where we'll highlight this latest information that you and your chapter needs to know. So this could be highlighting resources around your orientation day or your club day, or hey, this is what's going on from the AMA from advocacy, or even just an update on our marquee events like that November meeting that Nia was asking questions about. We want you guys to be in the know, so be on the lookout for these communications because we'll go ahead and send this out again, one email every Tuesday and then a monthly newsletter to recap everything that's going on. Another resource that we have is that Emily and I created on-demand trainings. So if you want to hear more from us, go on the Resource Center. I can tell you we have lovely voices and you can just listen to, all of the great trainings that we provide. So that includes how to host an event, what are the member benefits, how to get involved at the AMA, how to obtain your funds, and more. Again, take a look at this at your leisure. We know you guys are incredibly busy, and especially some of you are starting rotations now. So this is here for when you need to access it. And finally, one of my favorite tools, as in addition to all the other ones that I mentioned, are commissions and grants. So a lot of chapters don't know this, but you guys have money available to help with your chapter initiatives, and we can work with you to really make sure that you get the most money that you can in order for you guys to accomplish everything that you want to. All right, I'll pause and let that sink in. Again, that is free money for you guys to use and really take advantage of that. And you can use that by obtaining funds through commissions, which is you get money for more members you recruit, the more money you receive, and then you can also apply for our grant program, which we're happy to talk you through, or feel free to check out our on-demand training to learn more information about that. And finally, when it comes to student-facing resources, again, we've really made sure that you have everything you need and as turnkey as possible. Again, we would rather have you get that time for yourself and for self-care than create some of these resources. So some of those resources that we have are step-by-step guides, and those can include, how to sign up for membership, how to host a successful event, or even how to activate your Headspace subscription. We have all of this information in a nice, really neatly how-to guide, and that way you can access this at your leisure. In addition, we've also developed scripted PowerPoint templates for you to use specifically for your recruitment events. Those could be a Why Join the AMA PowerPoint template, also an advocacy one, and a health equity spotlight. And I think what's really cool about these are scripted PowerPoints. So you already have your talk track in there. And again, Emily and I are happy to attend any of these events if you want us to speak on behalf of the AMA or any other resources that we can provide. In addition, I know you guys can see it on the screen here, but we also have email templates that you can use. You can apply for grant funding and receive free AMA swag along with our other request forms. So truly a lot of great stuff. And again, I just want to mention, if there's something that you want that's not on the Resource Center, feel free to send anybody on this team a note. We're happy to create that for you. We're happy to work with you and customize, anything that we can, whether it's to making your event a success or, just meeting the needs that you or, the students that you're working with want. We truly want this to be a partnership and are so excited to collaborate with you guys this year.
I'll jump back in here and just say that, you all make us better. Your ideas get our wheels turning. And we're here to help the AMA work for you, work hard for you, and bring your voices back to the AMA. So there's no bad idea. We love to share best practices. We've got students around the country doing amazing things, and we just love to hook you up with that. So I hope you've gotten, at least from tonight, we know you're busy, we don't want to keep you long, but hope you've gotten the sense that you have a team here you can completely rely on. all of our doors, virtual or otherwise, are always open. And we will partner with you closely during the year. Look out for things from us as well. We're going to be doing some national events on topics that are relevant to students. We can hook you up with AMA leadership to speak at your events. There's just a lot that we can do for you. So don't hesitate to schedule a one-on-one or give us a call, send an email. But we're here for you. And as Rifa just popped into the chat here, we'd love it if you just take a second to fill out survey post-event here so we can see how we're doing out of the gates. And with that, I'll open it up to any questions anybody might have. Like exactly how did Emily train with the machete? I'd like to know about that. Do we have any returning outreach leaders here out of curiosity tonight? Or is everybody brand new?
I actually had a quick question.
Great.
So if we wanted to somehow like connect with outreach leaders or AMA members at other institutions, how could we do, like, is there a way we could get access to like a list of all of us? So like maybe if we're in the same state or we could like plan online events together and stuff like that.
Emily, you want to grab that one?
Yes, I believe that. So last year we sent out just an Excel with all this information, and it also lived on the Resource Center. I believe now it's going to live in the dashboard, so you will be able to contact other folks in your area. And I think that's a great idea. So I will say that I've worked with, a lot of different students, and they actually created a outreach leader group in near Philadelphia. And so they made sure to keep each other looped in. They would work with their local medical society. They talk to each other about events. And so I think that's a great idea. But team, definitely help me out. There will be a roster on the dashboard, which is that gated website that you have to make a profile for. And that's why we're asking for you to make a profile, because it's proprietary data. So team, is that correct? It's going to be living on the dashboard?
Yes. Yeah, and I'll clarify. So when we talk about the Resource Center, we'll make sure that we get you the link to it. We're putting in some fabulous last touches on updating it for the year, and we'll get you in there and, as soon as it's ready. The Resource Center is ungated. You can go in and have free access to any resources you need. The dashboard itself is gated. In other words, you have to sign into it, because again, it has school-specific information about recruitment. It also is going to house our list of outreach leaders, so you'll have access to this peer network through the dashboard. And then through the dashboard, you'll also have access to members at your school, M1 through M4, so you can be in communication with them. And then separately, anytime you want to hook up with some other schools or outreach leaders, we can just make that connection. We've done it for events quite a few times this last year, so absolutely happy to make that happen.
Yeah, just to add to that, if there's a specific school that you want to connect with, I know on a call today, I made a connection between two schools, and just so they could collaborate. I think that's a great idea. So feel free to just send us a note about that. I'll also say too, especially for my DO friends who are on this call. I know a lot of osteopathic schools like to connect and just, collaborate on how to talk about, the AMA and, the DO representation and, just have that brainstorm. So again, it's not limited to DOs. I think it, varies or works well with all medical schools. So just wanted to call that out if there, is a specific school in mind that you're interested in partnering with, or if it's just community as a whole, we're definitely here to facilitate that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I had another question actually. Speaking of like resources, will this recording be accessible if any of our fellow outreach leaders were not able to make it?
Yes, so we will put this, we'll put this on our YouTube channel. And I believe Rifa linked to the YouTube channel. I thought she did somewhere, but we have a YouTube channel, and that's where all of our trainings are. We also have archived a few other videos where we had, various speakers come and speak to schools virtually last year. So feel free to share that with other outreach leaders. Or if you are also like connected or want to be connected to, the president, vice president of your chapter, get connected to them as well. You're going to have all this really good information that you can share with all of them. And so one of the reasons why we unlocked the Resource Center, where all the resources do live this year, is so other members of Other medical students could have access to that. Other leaders on campus could have access to that. So make sure you're collaborating with them and sharing with them all of the things that are going on, because you are going to have a lot more resources than maybe they are getting, and it might be super helpful. So this will live on there, so share it with them. We even have a form to fill out if you know of people on campus that want to be involved with recruitment but don't want to be an outreach leader. They can be on our email distro and choose which emails or which newsletters they're getting. So we definitely encourage as much collab and collaboration as possible with folks on campus. So absolutely, as much as you want to share, please share it out. We love it.
And I would just add that we're also working hard inside the AMA to not just have your voices heard, but connect the dots for all the parts of our organization that talk to students. So we meet regularly with like the MSS. Last night, we in fact met with the MSS Governing Council to kind of connect the dots with the chapters and our outreach leaders and really just provide the best experience we can for you as med students. Any other questions?
There's a question in the chat. Would grant funds be available for events hosted by a region governing council, or is it only for chapter specific events?
They're available for chapter specific events. And I encourage all of you to take advantage of them. I mean, I can't tell you how many fun events we witnessed last year, everything from community outreach, COVID-19 relief efforts. We had recruitment events, engagement events, but take advantage of the free money, as Emily and Meredith have pointed out.
Yeah, and I'll echo that. If you are having a region-specific event and you're the hosting school, go ahead and submit an application for consideration. So, I mean, yeah. It's open certainly, but it is on a school-by-school level.
But we know people who can make it happen. So just reach out with any of those questions and we'll work with you on that. So if we don't have any other questions, I don't want to shut people off if you do, but I'm really cognizant of the fact that you're busy, you're probably tired, you probably want to go do something fun. So we'll finish up here. Again, please take a minute to fill out our survey. We'd really appreciate it. And again, if you haven't had a chance to schedule a one-on-one with Emily or Meredith, please do. They're lovely, lovely ladies who live for doing this every day. And we just would love to connect with you. So thank you so much for your time tonight. Thank you so much for the work you're going to help us with during the course of the year. And let's go talk about the importance of organized medicine and the change we can make happen in the field of medicine together. So thank you all. Any last thoughts from my team before we shut down? All right, everybody have a great evening.